Jackson, thank you for joining me today. I'm excited for this conversation. I have been following you on Instagram for a while now, and I have a bunch of questions for you. You ready to roll?
Yeah, man, sweet. Thanks for having me.
Of course. My first question is the biggest question. When did you fall in love with basketball?
Man, so it started out. I grew up in Minnesota. I moved to Arizona with some friends after high school. Kind of went to college, partied a lot, and explored the Southwest and a bunch of road tripping and stuff like that. But I kind of got into some bad habits, like I said, like partying a bunch, and started smoking cigarettes a bunch, and I kind of try to turn my life around. And first thing was like quitting smoking cigarettes, and this is when I lived in like Awatuki, and I had a nice apartment complex that had like a basketball hoop, right outside in the complex that we could use. And I just started like shooting around after I quit smoking. I was like fidgety and all just like stressed out about trying to quit. And so I just every day after work, I'd come home and I would just shoot. And I just kept doing it like for months. And then, so I grew up wrestling, playing football, a little bit of boxing and stuff. So I never played basketball growing up. So it's something that like you can imagine you've probably seen basketball players or football players on the basketball court with the terrible handles. So like it was brutal for a while, but once I could start hitting my shots, like I could really just feel it on the release, and it just started to feel like really good. And then I'd have random dudes come out and be like, "You want to play 1v1 or whatever?" And some just trash 2-on-2 games with just random people. And I just kept with it. I pushed through all those just terrible years of playing, and then 4 years later, I moved back to Minnesota, and then I started playing at like Lifetime Fitness right here. I live in Eagan, Minnesota. Um, yeah, and it was like, just when I thought I was getting good, I went to like a real gym where they play real full court pickup basketball. Here we go. This is a whole other thing. So then, I sucked for another year or two before I could, hold my own enough. Obviously, I played football and wrestled and stuff. So like the physical part and the moving part, it wasn't like too intimidating, but just the skill stuff was a little rough, starting. But yeah, I just fell in love with it, and like my life kind of started turning around, and I started making a lot more positive choices, eating good, trying to take care of myself. I just started feeling good, and good things started to happen. And like, I owe so much of that to basketball. And just that this is back in like, I think it was like 2001 when I started playing like full court. So we are 25 years later. I'm still playing at the same gym. Obviously, I travel all around the world and play too, but yeah, it's been 25 years, like probably 2, 3 days a week of just pick up basketball.
So you're not like Cleveland Brown superstar Miles Garrett on the basketball court?
No, what's the reference? I don't know.
He looks like he could play in the NBA right now, and he's like
Oh
the
yeah, for
defensive player of the
sure.
year. Probably this year. He was last year. Just a complete freak of nature.
Yeah, right. Nah, I wasn't quite a freak of nature like that, but
So to me, this is wild, and it's amazing that in your twenties, early twenties,
yep.
just through happenstance, there's a basketball net. You had the fidgety nature, fidgety energy you had to get rid of, and the basketball net was there. How
Yeah.
beautiful is that?
Yeah, it was just like perfect. And I did have some like friends who they played a little bit and stuff. So like, I kind of was just like around it, but not really there. And so I just went, I think probably just went to Walmart and picked up like the cheapest basketball they had, and just started shooting, and it just all snowballed from there.
So basketball started becoming big to you in your twenties,
Yep.
and you're in your forties now.
Yeah, I'll be
What keeps
47 in a few days.
happy early birthday?
Yeah, thank you, thank you.
What keeps you going on the basketball court? You have a busy schedule with work. What makes going to the basketball court, play pickup ball, why is that a priority for you still?
It's like it's not even a push, it's just a pull. Like I need to be there. Like I just love it. I feel alive. I get to use everything I have. Like I really think of basketball as like a creative thing too. It's all improvisation, it's psychology, you're reading people, and it's just like you're using your full everything, your mind, your intuition, your body, and it's just like I leave there just feeling completely reset, and it's obviously it's like a camaraderie too. I've been playing with the same guys for years, and it's just like, it's just a really like grounding thing for me. So like I need to do it. Like if I don't get to play for, a few days or a week, or I'm just like, oh, I got to get some runs in, and so that's kind of how the Old Man Hoopin started. Was I would go on work trips. I'm a photographer, so I'll fly around. I shoot like some commercial stuff, and I shoot a bunch of weddings and events and things. And so wherever I would travel for work, I would always just try to find like outdoor stuff, especially in the winter in Minnesota, like to trying to escape. And like if I can be outside and it's warm and there's palm trees and I can shoot around and play, like, obviously that is just a beautiful thing. So yeah, that's just kind of how that all started. And then, I just figured, I might as well just start this, just document what I've been doing. And that's kind of how it all started.
Before we dig into that, because I want to dig
Yeah.
into that as well, you
Yeah.
mentioned you have a core group of guys you play pickup with. Is this a men's league? Is this just a bunch of dudes who have formed a certain night you play basketball on? What's the details on that?
It's pickup basketball, no league or anything. So it's just the same dudes. It's usually like Mondays, Wednesdays, and then like Saturday morning is a good run. And there's some other like random like daytime runs here and there, kind of like have all these little different spots. But my regular things are like Monday, Wednesday. Yeah, and it's like the same group of dudes. It's funny because I started 25 years ago doing this, so it's like a new group of dudes every 5 or 10 years. But like now it's kind of like this new group. It's kind of been an evolution here in the past like 3 to 5 years of like completely different guys. But after like a year or two, like you see these guys outside of basketball and it's just like you light up like, hey, oh, what's up? You still hooping? Yeah, cool. It's just like this cool camaraderie. And yeah, it's just the different groups have evolved over the years. But yeah, so it's just like, self-organized. Just same dudes show up the same nights, and we run. And there's obviously new dudes coming all the time too. And but there's like definitely like a cool group of core guys that I'm always around.
I was wondering with your Instagram how you have all these basketball courts, and I think that's beautiful. Can you tell me what this is like to be able to go away for work, find a basketball court, and just have that camaraderie, get that sweat in? And you have some absolutely beautiful basketball courts you've been to.
Yeah, man, that's why I try to seek that kind of stuff out. Like, so I think it all started really with this Fort Lauderdale court. So I don't know if you've been following my Instagram. They were going to take the court out and replace it with pickleball. And it was a big controversy. They were kind of trying to get rid of the basketball culture on the beach there, and with the local Florida beach ballers. And I kind of helped fight alongside of them. And they actually reversed it, and they're going to actually improve the courts and keep them. It's a beautiful thing. But this was just I was down. In Florida shooting like a big event for like EY Ernst and Young, like a big conference. And like I was just searching on Google, like where's cool basketball courts, or like where do people play? There wasn't very much information online, way back when I was first looking at it. And then, I saw on Google Maps that there's a court, and it looks like it's like on the beach. And I'm like, what? I was like, what is this? And so then I like, do my shoot, and then I drive. I think the shoot was actually in Orlando, and so then I always just put on like a day or two extra, especially in the winter, to get out of the cold here. So, I think I stayed a couple days, and so I just drove down there, and I got to this court, and I was like, what the hell? Like, this is unbelievable. Just palm trees with coconuts hanging over you, and just there's two full courts, like literally sand is piling onto the court, and it's just, it's a little windy and breezy and stuff, but like you can hear the ocean crashing. And then like we played, and I was just like, this is heaven, like. And then this local dude's like, yeah, man, you want some coconut water or whatever. He climbs up a tree, and like we crack the coconuts, and we're just drinking them on the court. And I was like, what? I was like, there's got to be more courts like this out there, so then it kind of like that really like ignited it. Yeah, and then I started just kind of doing more research, and wherever I traveled, try to find more unique courts. And then I started the whole project, and then I realized there's all kinds of other dudes that were already doing this too. So then you can look at like what they were doing and find courts you want to go to. And now I have like a Google Map list of just like thousands of courts all over that I've either been to or want to go to. Yeah, so it's just been like a super cool thing. And then obviously, like, I got all my pro camera gear with me and stuff, and I got the drone, and then obviously, like, I'm playing, and so it's just easy to like make super cool content around it, and the feedback has been great too. So that's always exciting, and just kept building from there. I wish I could just do this full time, but we're working on it.
Man, that would be beautiful. I hope you can pull this off. I
Yeah,
keep my fingers crossed for you. This is a tough question. Might be the toughest question I ask you this whole interview.
yeah, man.
What are some of your all-time favorite basketball courts? And I know that as soon as you answer, you'd be like, "Oh, I should have answered that one." But just
Yeah, right.
a couple that come to mind, and just explain them to me, please.
So I think the Fort Lauderdale one, just for the kind of the reasons that was like the spark of it all too, but also just because it's just super like iconic and just like amazing. But there's another court that's like breathtaking too. It's Angels Gate Park in San Pedro, California. It sits up on like a high hill kind of cliff overlooking the Pacific Ocean, and it's just like, I mean, I'm sure you've seen photos of it online. It's just unbelievable. You look at it like, is this even real? When you take pictures of it, the vantage point, from the court, you see the hill goes down. It looks like if you miss a shot, like the ball is just going to roll off into the ocean or infinity. But yeah, it's just unbelievably beautiful. So those two for sure. And that's more on like the picturesque side, but like for playing basketball, because like I try to do both. I'll try to find like really cool ones to take photos of and stuff, but it's windy at the beach spot, and the Angels Gate one, so the games aren't like super good there. You'll get kind of random people shooting around, but a lot of people just get worried about the wind and they don't like their shot getting messed up and looking bad and shooting air balls. So like for actually playing, I love to go to Venice Beach, obviously, and then like the Cage in New York City. Just some like real like gritty like street ball spots, and like that's more of a competition kind of thing than like a photo aesthetic thing.
I might have lied to you. This
Oh, this one's gonna be
question,
tougher.
this question might be even harder for you, Jackson.
Okay.
In your mid 40s, who are you without basketball?
Yeah, definitely, I'm into like I love music, I love like hiking, I love nature. And I still do like a bunch of that like outdoor kind of stuff. And I love traveling and photography and stuff. So I have had a few times where I've had some pretty bad injuries where like I think when I was like 35, I tore my ACL and meniscus. And so I was out for like a year and a half. It's definitely hard, like especially at first, but I just, I'm passionate about life and about a bunch of other things too. So um, I think, and I always joke, I say like until I can't play anymore, like I'm just gonna keep going. But when I can't, then I'm gonna start playing music more. So I think I would be deeper into the music world, for sure. But definitely like outdoor nature, exploring, new cultures, travel, like all that kind of stuff.
Final question for you.
Yeah.
When you're in your 60s, so about 15-ish years from now, what do you hope basketball looks like for you then?
Consistent. I hope I can just keep going, keep playing, and keep playing at like a decently high level. So I can shoot. So like that's kind of the foundation where if you can shoot and knock down your wide open shots, you can pretty much be on the court at any time. Obviously, defense and stuff is going to get harder, but like that's kind of my whole goal with the Old Man Hoopin thing is like I really want to like play and like play really well. Like I want to be like the best 80-year-old basketball player in the world. Like that's kind of like my goal.
That's a beautiful goal. I love it. Good
Yeah.
luck with that. I'm looking forward
Yeah.
to watching this on Instagram.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, what's your Instagram handle? And is there any other ways people can follow you? Do you have a TikTok? Do you have any other social media with your basketball adventures?
Yeah, so it's just at Old Man Hoopin, no G. Most of my stuff is on Instagram. I do have like a TikTok, but I don't post there very much. So it's really like Instagram and then Facebook. You can look up Old Man Hoopin on there, but it's kind of just the same content. So like if you're only on Facebook, it's a good place for you to go. But Instagram is definitely like the best experience. I'm working on launching a website and stuff now, which will be oldmanhoopin.com. And I'm gonna have a nice print shop and stuff, and I'm gonna sell some merch and things like that. And then I have a YouTube channel. I believe it's just at Old Man Hoopin as well. I have a bunch of stuff. I have so many ideas, just not enough time to execute everything. But yeah, I want to do a bunch of stuff in there, kind of like help other guys like get back into basketball and stay young and stay hooping. So I want to like kind of give back that way as well. I got some cool ideas, just talking about in-depth stuff about the game of basketball, and like I'm working on my first like video. It's pretty complex, like going into all the psychology of the games, and like I've been diving into the psychology of like bonding hormones and endorphins and dopamine and like oxytocin, and like all this stuff happens with these random strangers, and we can come from all different walks of life, and like yet you can leave there feeling like this is your brother. You gotta go to war with them. And I always think about like in a job interview or just even on social media, people kind of pretend have this persona, and like until you get into like a crisis with this person or something, you can't really tell who they are. But in basketball, like the second play, you know who they are. It's just like reveals everything. There's no hiding behind it. It's just like your mistakes are public, your wins are public, and it's like, it's just such a cool thing. So I'm kind of diving into the psychology of the game and the camaraderie and everything like that too. So I got a bunch of cool stuff coming, and I plan on doing this for until I die. So I got a lot of things in the pipeline.
Jackson, this was fantastic, and I know you have a busy week coming up. You're heading to San Francisco in a couple days for the Super Bowl. Have a
Yep.
blast on the sidelines for that. That's an amazing opportunity.
Yeah,
And
man.
thank you for carving out the time to talk with me. Again, just as we wrap, so Instagram is the best place to stay updated into the website's live.
For sure, yep. And then like you at my website currently now, if you go to oldmanhoopin.com, I have like a little like newsletter kind of sign up thing where you can stay connected. But yeah, Instagram is definitely the best spot for now. I think YouTube will be more of a hub and the website will be more a hub, coming up. But yep, Instagram is the spot currently.
That was awesome. Thanks you, Jackson. Greatly appreciate
Yeah,
it, man.
man. Thank you so much. Appreciate you.